I'm going to recording. So here we are, EMC Sangha from Encinitas, California. We're getting people watching the recordings on YouTube. That's so lovely, isn't it? They're picking it, of course, not because they know us, because actually they don't. They're coming from really everywhere. It's because the topic is something that holds some meaning. And the conversation that has brought almost the most interest is the topic of renunciation. It's interesting, mostly because, as I wrote in the title, we all hate the idea. And it's unfortunate that we hate it. We're going to talk about it some more today because the whole of the teachings, the Buddha said, is on the abandonment of pleasure and pain, pleasure and rejection of the truth of life. The whole of the teachings are summed up in that sentence, the abandonment of pleasure and the pain that comes from it. Isn't this interesting? And then it says, to the extent that we can, we prevent the grasping, clinging before it happens when we can. These are called the four great efforts, by the way. And they're very simple. It's kindergarten quality, so you'll be able to get this. We abandon the unwholesome, the grasping, clinging, rejecting, refusing life before it begins. That's the number one, first, right, great effort. Just don't let it start, right? Wisely. Just don't get caught in it. And then it says, well, if you get caught, then the second thing would be to abandon the unwholesome when you recognize that it has occurred. This is makes just right good sense. So you see the harsh thought, you see the condemning quality of mind, you see the wanting, the not wanting, the rejection of life as it is, and you abandon that continued thinking. Easier said than done, I have noticed, right? That's the two great efforts. And then there are two additional great efforts. We cultivate then wholesome qualities of mind. Makes sense again, doesn't it? Well, this is not so hard. We're going to cultivate what? Loving kindness, compassion, equanimity, self-compassion, regard for self and others, and non-clinging. Non-clinging, which is the cause of all reactivity. Make sense? That grasping, wanting, needing, gotta be me, gotta be now, how come I didn't get it, didn't go my way, right? I was deserving, you should have. So cultivating that quality. And then, of course, the real challenge is sustaining the fourth great effort. Sustaining that quality for how long? Yeah, just one breath. This seems doable then. Thank God, because our ideas are forever, always, I gotta's, just over, I get goosebumps, like, ugh. It's like looking up a mountain and falling off, right? But I love the idea of just right now. This seems pretty workable. Just now, just this moment, just this breath, just this body, just life as it is. This one breath. All then the four great efforts. And there's the word great is not used lightly. The four great efforts. This is the whole of the path of renunciation, then. The whole path is noticing with right mindfulness right? What does it require then? Those four great efforts. Right effort must be accompanied by right mindfulness, right? Because if we do not know, if we are not present, if we are not in the body, if we are not in awareness of qualities of mind, we couldn't invite any of the right effort. It would be just impossible. So right mindfulness is in fact then the instruction. And then so that's the Satipatthana Sutta, one of the first of the Buddha's great teachings. But for me, it's like just makes sense stuff. I don't know if we needed more than to just get this idea of every moment then awakened, every moment then present, every moment. And it is a life work then, right? Just not this one, now this one too. How do we continue? And then I sent out an article, and I'm going to flash on that if I can locate it for a moment. Let me see if I can share that. So then this article by Pema, who I completely adore, and her teachings, she says this, and I'm just going to read one of the paragraphs here. I'm not going to share it. I think I'll just read it because I can't get to share. Oh, here we go. Wait. Nope, it's not going to let me. All right, I'm not going to read it. So let me read this for you. She says, renunciation is realizing that our nostalgia for wanting to stay in a protected, limited, petty world is insane. Now, this comes from an 88-year-old woman. Is insane. Once you begin to get the feeling of how big the world is and how vast your potential for experiencing life is, then you really begin to understand renunciation. From there, when we sit in meditation, we feel our breath as it goes out, and we have some sense of willingness to just open to the present moment. Then our minds wander off into all kinds of stories and fabrications and manufactured realities. And we say to ourselves, thinking, we say that with a lot of gentleness and a lot of precision. This is that mindfulness. Every time we're willing to let the storyline go, and every time we are willing to let go at the end of the out-breath, that's the fundamental renunciation. Isn't that lovely? There it is. Just this breath moment. Learning how to let go of holding on. And I think even more importantly for conversation today, holding back. Because what's not available to us if we are caught in our self-centered dream? What is not available? Openness. What else? Wisdom. No possibility.
Connection.
Connection, absolutely. Because you're wrapped up in the cocoon of you. What else? Reason, wisdom, connection, openness, reality.
Just you, yourself, you're more available, like as a human being.
Not present, thank you, Leanne, not present to yourself without renunciation. Not present then to love, right? No possibility now for love unless we are open, connected, available, embodied, right? And then so renunciation, can we see that it is not the giving up of anything? Actually, I want to look at it a whole different way today. Then it is the coming home to one's true self. Can we see that possibility now? Renunciation isn't the bad word. It's the way to freedom. It's the possibility. It's the no other way to get where I really want to be, actually, without letting go, and not the rejecting kind of letting go, right? This is a misunderstanding also, this kind of pushing away, right? But the recognition that in my self-clinging, there is only one outcome. What is it? Only one. Suffering. So renunciation actually means the letting go of suffering. Oh, oh, letting go of suffering, not letting go of the cake. The cake was never the problem. It really wasn't. It is the addictive cling, right, to this that is our suffering, not the cake, right? We never blamed the object. We never blamed the other, right, as we said last week. And so then what's a different word that you could think of that could represent this idea of letting go into, not of, but into your true nature? What's a word you might come up with, or a set of words? Staying empty. Coming home. Freedom, I think, is used a lot, Kelly, in the suttas. The path to freedom. The path to true happiness, it also says then, here, but not that, right? Not the gimme kind of giddy happiness, but this contented, abiding, always available, always present happiness. Do we get this idea? And so if there could be a better word, I don't know, but let's figure it out so that we know when we say this idea of really just being here, that it is the only possibility you and I have, actually, for life and love. The only possibility. And then it means, can I be open to everything? So we don't actually have to, when we say let go, the misunderstanding is we don't let go of the truth of our present moment. So if fear is abiding, we recognize mindfully, with keen attention, with wholehearted compassion, the truth of fear, right? We don't have to get rid of it. Neither do we cultivate then what? The storyline that somehow I'm broken or deficient or inadequate at all. Because what? We know fear and its pain are just a part of being human. There's nothing to get rid of. It's a ridiculous enterprise, wouldn't it be? But could I be with myself then fully in it? And the answer mostly in our habituated mind is no. Get me out of here. However, then who is home? And it's a sad abandonment then, isn't it truly? How many times have we done it? Got to get this, got to be that, got to be some other way, got to. And the renunciation says, wait a minute, could we stop the running? Could we stop the fighting? Could we stop the fleeing? Could we stop the freezing for a moment? Then, but we get the idea. Does this make sense? Yeah, we tend to see renunciation as the giving up of something, don't we? It's the wrong side. It actually is the coming into something, the really clearing the path to one's true home and one's true self. Does this make sense to people on Zoom? You getting what we're saying here? And then we feel more tenderhearted, don't we? Can you feel it? You can feel like I don't have to fight with life or myself so much, right? Renunciation really carves a naturally compassionate path, doesn't it? Like I could just be here, open to whatever is. Anything? Yes. Introspection is available now once we are home to ourselves. The deep, we call that the deep listening, right? Or the deep knowing of how I am, who I am, what is here. And then what? It's not limited to that in any way. Then the truth is what? And then knowing, it says, the truth of all things. By knowing this, by knowing what? Its ever-changing nature, its continuously flowing nature, its impermanent nature, that nothing is static or stuck or fixed at all, except the reacting, gripping, life squeezing mind. Yeah, because now wisdom is now available. Just the moment before, in all the narrations, in all the iterations of thinking, nothing. You're just spinning webs, thinking like this and then thinking like that. Anybody ever do that thinking, I better just stop my thinking because my thinking's now my problem? Right, often, right? And then thinking this, and then, well, let me think that, and let me try another thinking and a different version of that thinking. And then eventually you hope you can wear yourself out, right? Just like, give that up. Because mostly you're trying to know something or secure something or, right, make permanent something that what cannot be known. And we do it. If only I knew that. If only I knew how the weather would be. If only I knew North Lake Tahoe, so I knew exactly where to go for the wedding. If only I knew how many people were cut. And you notice that in major events, you see what people do. They start to grip, don't they, onto the facts that are unknown. And you see, was just talking with Dan about his daughters getting married. You can see this in a large event, can't you? You get stuck in a lot of thinking if you're not careful, and then miss the beauty of this amazing love moment, right? It's totally, because you're counting. I remember at my own wedding, sitting at the altar. Here I am at the altar going, uh-oh, I don't think we have enough glasses. I'm at the altar looking into the eye of the beloved, thinking, oh no. And I turned quickly to one of my my maid of honor, who was my college roommate, and you could see her going, don't do it. Like, no, don't do that. Because well, this is not it. Whatever is happening over there, let's try to get in the room. Right? Try to get in your own body. Not even close. Nowhere. I was like a robot through much of that ceremony. I missed most of it. Right? And don't we? And then the teachings say, be watchful of this, because then there is wholesome regret and remorse. It is right to have regret and remorse at the loss of this. You get what Kiri and Otapa are the two power words. Moral regret and dread. Like, how many moments then am I going to waste caught in the storyline of what if this and what if not this, and how do I secure and right this? And then, so that's why you're here today, isn't it? And then it says, without intention, without attention, over and over and over again, there is no path. So that's why we practice. There is no path otherwise. You cannot see the quality of your own heart mind while you are lost. Can you? In the thinking? You're just thinking. So this is why we sit. Right. We get it. Let me read this then, and we'll be ready to sit. I read this on Tuesday, and I'm going to do it again. So this was by Jennifer Wellwood. I sent it to many of you, but we're going to read this as our prayer, as our blessing for our sitting this morning. Renunciation. There will always be voices that promise you greatness and glory. If only I could figure it out. They call out from the worldly marketplace. They call out from the spiritual marketplace. They call out from the fill your holes marketplace. They call out from the bigger, better, more marketplace. Do not buy their false promises or purchase their ephemeral wares. What fulfills for a moment is not worth the price of your soul. There are heights that will lift you, but not when you try to ascend them. There are powers that will fill you, but not when you make them your own. There are treasures, and there are imitations of treasures. It's a big line. If you have lost your true gold, at least turn away from the glitter. Want only what is true. This will lead you to the well of your deepest sorrows. Follow that passageway all the way down. Become the dark emptiness of your absent core, the clinging core. Be still. Don't measure the waiting. Be still. Let the waiting become the fall. Let the very stillness direct you. And so we're going to sit. We're going to sit then in the method that we frequently have used. And you've heard it now both in Jennifer Wellwood's poem and by Pema. And this is our most common practice technique, the one we practice as a Sangha most often, which is not gripping onto the breath at all, right? Which is a slightly more Vipassana style, beautiful for concentration. We're going to go back to an old familiar practice, which is releasing and opening at the end of the out breath. This is the path to non-clinging, this very one, holding on to nothing but open space. So let's prepare to sit. Clear my screen. Doesn't want to go away. So preparing to sit in a comfortable, supported posture. I'm going to move this a little bit. And then whether eyes open or closed, and in the Tibetan tradition, remember, the eyes are lowered but left not in seeing, but there is not a demand for the closing. So you can leave them partially open, closed, but we are not blanking out. We're not getting rid of anything at all. And if you watch Pema, she practices from that tradition. She leaves the eyes open and forward, just resting in open space. We're not going to do that quite today because most of us get lost in the eye door. So we're going to lower them. And then we're going to call to mind the energy, the virya, the reason that you're here, the reason that you're practicing today. We recollect the wish to cause least harm. The desire to contribute with each breath something towards the good. your own presence, your own mindfulness, your own open heart. And then to do so not only for oneself, but for ever growing numbers of beings. Until all beings are free from sorrow. And just resting in the body with the strike of the bell. And just feeling into the felt sense, the aliveness, the presence of the body as it sits here. Be still. And then from within the stillness itself, noticing the movement. It is only the still mind that can find the breath and the body. And then beginning to notice the release available with each out breath. Soften the body. Like water being poured from a pitcher. And making direct contact with the breath. Being watchful not to rush to its end. Feeling the softening. Weightedness. resting in the release. And with each out breath, then we are letting go of all of the defilements, all of the fetters, all of the tangle, the knots, the self making, the self clinging, and the rejecting. We simply open. Surrender. Riding the wave of the out breath to its end. And at the end of the out breath, this is true home. We touch in lightly to the stillness, and then we simply open into the boundless, vast, infinite, and empty reality. This is who we really are. Not clinging to anything. Letting it all come and go. Not only the sound, maybe, of the barking, but releasing as well the grip. Sound arising and passing back into stillness. And once we touch the silence and the stillness, the true moment of shunyata, of complete open space, see if you can't rest the mind there. Even in a moment of jangle, of constriction, of tightness, of grip, there is the softened body. There is the still and silent space all around and within. Beautiful practice of renunciation. Being watchful of the storyline. Seeing if we can fully arrive just this moment. Using the out breath as the guardrail to the boundless, to the infinite open space. Not clinging to anything. Not the sound, not the hearer, not the story, not the body. True renunciation. Arriving completely here. See if you notice any gripping, any little itch in the giddy up. See if you can fully release all the way into the vastness. This is not a practice of getting rid of anything. So we're not trying to not feel the tension or the grip. We're trying to create infinite space and room and then warmth for it. This is not about being some other way, but knowing exactly how we are and then shining that radiant light, that infinite brilliance of awareness. And then resting there. Coming home to who you really are. And then the open space pervades everything. And then peace pervades all things. And we smile. The sensation, the sound, the thought, all arising and passing. Not me, not mine, not I. Resting then in the radiant light of the awakened heart mind. Coming home. And free. Still. Silent. Spacious. Our true nature. And may this practice this very day contribute. Sylvia. I'm going to do that once because I have a hold a little man here. He understands 3 bills. It's time to play. Time to play. He is very stinky.
He's very
There's a lot of stinky going on here.
stinky.
There's a, I was like, one of us
What is it?
needs help. I don't,
He's found it.
yeah,
Yeah.
he located it and jumped in it, is what happened there. But we know that's not his true nature. So just
sure
be
about
careful
that.
if you're gonna be petting on him.
I think,
You may not have friends this morning.
I think he likes it though.
He liked whatever that was.
Read that.
So what do we understand? What's your sense about this particular practice as compared to just the attention fully on the in breath and the out breath? Or on just resting in open space? That's another one of our practices, just complete rest in open space. This is a little bit of a combination of using the breath as a support for finding our way into that fast open space. What's your experience there?
More floating than
Yes, that's right. Not so caught on it or in it or the breath or more floating, more flow in its nature. This particular practice, just so you know, in the research, this is one that is most inviting for the parasympathetic nervous system. Why? Out breath. We know the nature of the out breath is the invitation to ease, to calm, to tranquility, to serenity. The ease of the out breath.
I didn't want to take another breath. I just wanted to
Yes,
be
rest.
breathless.
Yes, breathless. We in some way become breathless. Anybody even notice that they don't even need the breath now? That they're just the resting and abiding in vast space. The breath is happening, of course, but we aren't needing it. Even that is the grip. You need it when we, one of the obscurations that says might begin to arise. It's like, this is here for me as I need it just to find my way back into this quality of radiant awareness. And it's understood that way. And that's not my adjective. Yes. 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 Doesn't it feel right? Like I don't have to grab that either. I can just use it as, what do they do for kids when they bowl? They put those things in the gutters. Yeah, a little bumper. It's kind of like a bumper guard.
I find it helps to have in my hazy periphery just all of you in my vision. Like it's a nice reminder that all of our out breath is feeding into one another and going beyond. I have
Yes.
this really beautiful vision when I'm here in the garden of all of our breath kind of creating this interlocking web.
Yes.
That's helpful. I find that when I feel like I need to close my eyes, it can feel restrictive and forced.
That's right.
So I like the availability of open and closed.
Yes, that's right. I do too, by the way, as well. I don't want to have to be a certain way because really we're already imposing too much, isn't it? Eyes open, eyes closed. If we just let the eye be the eye, it'll do whatever it's doing. And it's all good, right? It's nice to make the connection, knowing the eye door is the eye door and not being lost in that door. That's one of the reasons that the Mahayana and the Dzogchen schools use open eye. They don't want us getting sucked in to this gripping by the eye door either. It's, can I see even this appearance of solidity, right? As also arising and passing, a part of the flow, but not limited either. So eyes open is a beautiful practice. We do both in retreat on purpose. And if you notice you have a preference, just notice it. Right, that's just a part of what's useful, is noticing, me like this is usually, or my practice. We get a little bit there, a little grippy on the my, folks. I know. Carrie knows this probably better than maybe Lisa was there, but remember we used to have to stop just to get people to reset because they couldn't stand the idea of having to open the eye because we began the Sangha with eyes closed practice. And then we get there it is, right? There's the beginning of the suffering in the clinging, just right there in the practice. And so if you notice I have a practice and I really, really like it, you may want to abandon it. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. There is something meaning in it. And just notice something about that. Well, I only do it that way. Well, really, life's going to ask more of you, isn't it? For sure. For sure. So I like my eyes closed. Really? Open them. No joke. I like to follow the breath at the end of the nose. Forget about it. I like resting in open space. Grab the breath. Nice instruction. So as long as we understand renunciation is not the evil word, it is the path to freedom. And so we might then let renunciation, because it's such a poor translation, really, we might just allow its release into simply what? Home, true nature, Buddha nature, Christ nature, right? Open, spacious, heart, mind, right? That's what it really means.
Something,
And its path.
something you said was letting it go is not necessarily renunciation. And that kind of resonated with me a little bit because I have this mantra that I've been doing is let it be and let it go.
Yes.
And yet really seeing it and be
Is itself, right? Because then we wouldn't cling to what we know is what temporary, ephemeral, not me, not mine, not fixed. What would you hold on to then? You couldn't. There'd
Because
be
letting it-
nothing to hold.
because letting it go is kind of like you've been holding on to something.
Yes,
And the seeing is really then you know,
that's right. Then you're just open to, the dog barking is so beautiful, right? I was like, oh, he did it for me again, right? He did it for me. Because there is a grip, there is a clang, and it's not the problem until what? Anybody notice what that mind did? Uh-oh, what if this continues? Yes, you did. What if this doesn't stop? What if it gets worse? What if he just keeps doing it? What if I didn't come here for this? I wanted to sit in a quiet garden. Now I got to do, right? Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, the story spun. Then there was a coyote down there. I bet they were barking at it. And then what if he gets eaten? Then
That's right.
it
And
went
doesn't
off
she
wild.
care? I heard you. Don't think I didn't hear you.
I think all the dogs would bark. Something's down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Leave Al. Where's Al?
Where's Al going? What's he doing? That guy couldn't get down here and get the dog? So then we just noticing that quality is its release. See, self-liberation, I love this word. Renunciation is actually self-liberation, seeing clearly the true nature, nothing permanent, nothing fixed, nothing to push away, nothing to cling to.
I appreciated the glassware example as well because we were all able to laugh at it and how relatable it was. And I kept finding myself being like, don't count the glassware right now, like, and able to laugh at it and
Yes.
have grace with it
Yes,
because
yes.
it was.
I think we have to be able to smile at the truth of our minds and not mistake it as who we really are. See, if we can just smile at the nature of the what? Fear-based mind, the mind that wants to secure this insecurable world. Right? And then we practice, just letting ourselves float for a breath, a moment. So, yeah. And then we smile. Like, yeah, okay. There's the training. There's the practice. There's the being with it completely. So wonderful. I don't want to stay on this any longer because we have some work today. EMC board has some work. And the work is to talk about our 4 global charities. We are getting ready for a campaign. I'm not going to say too much more about it because I'm going to hand it over along with the computer. And did you guys have a way that you wanted to talk about this?
Well, let me start because,
I'm gonna hand you the computer, I think.
well, no.
No?
Just philosophical statement.
Okay,
I had some hunger, I often don't have breakfast. And, what a great lesson. And thought over the many years I've lived, I've had hunger, but always relief, almost immediately. And then I thought, well, yeah, wow, what a blessing.
yes,
And what would it be like to not have it, or not know if it would?
that's right.
I think that the board and the Sangha and all humans recognize that it's a challenge.
Yeah.
So I think the board decided that it's time to try to make a dent and solve the world. But I'll just say that if you look at these four organizations, it seems to me that they all started from the heart and with the vision. And I'll just say that the one I picked was a French name, and it became. They all have the hunger in the world, but
Yeah.
but it was a few physicians from France who felt that they needed to stretch their resources as far as they could. So they developed a milk-based product, and then eventually a peanut-based
Yes,
product. And not only do they use it across the world, and they have offices all over, they go all over, but they actually sent it to other agencies to say, look, limited source of funds, we have an unlimited number of people with hunger. This is a safe way to stretch it, and it can go through heat and rain and what have you. So, I think that each of these organizations are doing an amazing job. I think that you can't pick a bad one.
Right.
But our goal is to create some sort of fund. I think the idea would be that the board would match about $5,000 worth of donations, so that we can make a difference in one of these organizations. But I was really impressed how this particular organization evolved for the past 30 or 40 years.
yes,
There's no end to the need, so I just think we need to grasp the moment.
yes. We, I think, have rightly prided ourselves on our local and global contributions. And we have done that in a variety of ways. And I won't get into the history except to say we have supported a school in Nepal. We have supported Insulate Ukraine, right? We have done things. And this is just another opportunity for us to support organizations that are very clearly making a difference. Sangha last week said, we don't need one. Let's have options based on our true hearts. And so if clean water is most important to you because you know something about that, well, that organization's going to be available. Right. So I'm going to turn this over, I think, to Greg or Carrie or Lisa or somebody. And thank you, Jim, for that. We are committed. We have monies. And the money, by the way, comes from the fact that we meet here. And because we meet here, we don't have that $500 a month demand that we used to have for rent. And so because you're willing to meet outside, which has to be a part of you also, because if everybody went, no way, forget the parka, forget the gloves, we wouldn't be able to do this. We're doing this because you do already contribute something just by your decision to come here and grab a blanket. Instead of just say, I want it to be 72 degrees all the time indoors. So thank you all for that. That's a contribution as well. So Greg, I'm gonna hand this over, or maybe you should sit here. I think that might work a bit better. Yeah, let me get out of the way. And I think whoever's, this might be a better way to do it.
It'll be quicker.
Yeah, I think so. Get over here.
And thanks to Little Bear for bringing me to total awareness this morning.
Yeah.
A little bear. No, I mean little man. Little man. No, I don't want you up here, buddy. Yes, so, wow, that was a great introduction, and I think the idea of choices is always a good thing, and there could have been more organizations, but four seems like a good number, and just to stick with that, and that means that each one of the organizations can get a fairly big donation, and so let me just kind of go through them in a little detail here, and this is all going to be on the website. The first one is Shelterbox, and we have donated to Shelterbox in the past, and they provide shelter. They provide all the requirements for a family to be able to cook food. They provide water. They have solar panels. They have no, nope, nope.
Oh, man.
Woo. And all of these actually we went through all of them. They're all ranked top in terms of charities that do international work.
Have they got the Gaza shelter box?
Yes.
Yes.
And actually, let me just kind of read them off here. So they're in the Caribbean. There's been a hurricane down there, which there seems to be all the time. Morocco, Libya, Somalia, Turkey, Pakistan, Ukraine, Mozambique, Cameroon, Burkina Faso, Yemen, Ethiopia, and Gaza. And when you go onto the website, there'll be a link there that you can go in, and they'll give you a little bit more information on exactly what they're doing in each of these places. But there are boots on the ground, so they're ready to go. They have all of these supplies in warehouses, and all they need to do is just grab the supplies and go. So this is really good. The second one is, and these are not necessarily in order of preference. They're just in the order that we have them on the website. World Central Kitchen, and they provide food for natural disasters and in like hurricanes. And
You work with them?
Yes.
yes, they're in Ukraine, in war zones. They're pretty much they're in Gaza, they're in Venezuela, so they're in South America as well. And we've given to them in the past as well. They're very quick to respond, and they're just doing a great job in the world.
They
they're all-
had a loss, by the way, I don't know.
Yeah, they did.
It was very serious in Gaza.
Yes.
They lost, I think it was 6 or 7
Yes.
of their workers were killed
Yeah.
in one of the strikes.
That's
In
correct.
Red
Car,
The other thing is, speaking to that, is that, they set up these kitchens with the local people, and what they learned, which I thought was important, what they learned was to listen for what people actually do. They tell a really funny story about how they went in and they made beans, but they realized they made the beans the way the people ate them, and they learned from that that it was, you tell us how you eat, we will use your foods, we will bring you more of your foods, and we will do this together. So the urgency factor, not about getting it perfect, but getting it there and getting to it, and the idea of really listening to the local people, what their needs are, I think is very special.
And restaurants, don't they interact with restaurants?
They do,
Yes.
and that's the other thing, is these are a bunch of chefs and they have supply chain down. So like when you think about efficiencies of not being able to get into it, get in from nutritionist talking here, food safety standpoint, all of those things that really do matter. They do an amazing job. They're even in the US too, that was the other thing I was gonna say.
They are.
They're not just.
Yeah.
They're local as well. They're in Mississippi as well.
Yeah. I hope you heard that on the Zoom thing here, but yeah, I mean, and Lisa knows because she's a person that knows all about food and all about cooking, and safety is a big deal, obviously, when you're moving into a country like that. And I guess I didn't realize that they do adjust. That would make sense that they would have to adjust in each country that they're going into.
Yeah, it's very low.
Cook for 2,000 people. Wow.
I can't even imagine how they do that.
Yes.
I don't know, but.
Well, they're obviously very experienced in that. So, and then the one that Jim was talking about, the Action Against hunger, which was originally
French.
Action
Les
International
Festin.
contre la faim.
Les fins.
And they're top ranked. They're in 56 countries. They have almost 9,000 employees, helping 28 million people. And they're currently a leading USAID funded project and for nutrition and health challenges. Anyway, they're
And
very
they distribute the peanut butter.
peanut butter. I remember that.
Remember the peanut butter project that
Right.
I love?
Because peanut butter, it turns out, could
Got
really
milk,
turn
it's
around
like- it's a-
malnutrition.
The
It's a
dairy,
protein.
yeah, it's a high protein
High
based
protein,
packet.
yeah.
$1 a pack will keep a child alive.
Yeah.
For just one pack it's not even an everyday pack. But because there's dried milk and peanut butter and other essential vitamins and
Plus, it has the oil and all the other stuff that you
everything.
need. Yeah, it's a whole
All-
food, right?
and $1 a pack.
That's why I eat
it-
peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
That's why you do.
And then water for people. And Carrie knows a lot about this because she's involved in the local organization here, right here in San Diego. So they're local, but they're also international. And they provide water for people across 9 countries, Latin America, Asia, Africa, and within those areas. And they basically, a lot of it has to do with helping women, because it turns out that the women are the ones that are actually going out and getting the water.
Yes.
It's not the men.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of their time. Gee, is that unusual? Well, I don't know. I get water for the coffee in the morning or something. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, really great organization. I'm a water guy, so that's my background. I'm a civil engineer in water and wastewater. And sanitation also. That's I mean, that's a really big part of health. If you don't provide sanitation, you don't have health. And so, there were some statistics here that Gary had 248,000 people reached with new or improved water, almost 500,000 with new or improved sanitation, and 250,000 reached with hygiene education. And so they really do a good job. And so anyway, those are the 4. And like I say, they're going to be on the website.
They're on the website.
And you can give to all of them, or if you decide one of them that you like better, do that, and it'll be a 1-for-1 donation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to turn it back to you.
They are. They're making it to us because we're matching. So then, and we have a memo section.
Right.
It's up. It's up. I got it up yesterday.
And all of you, I mean, I just reach out, I mean, certainly it's a great reminder. East Venmo, instant mindfulness, great way to give. You can know what you can give to. You want to. I always make it a practice trying to do it Saturday is just classes that I have. It's this group. And teaching that in.
So if you didn't hear that, that was Leanne, and she was just talking about the fact that we're matching it. Again, it's the $5,000 1-to-1, and it's very easy. We've made it super easy on the website for you to go ahead and do that. And, so anyway, I'm gonna let you
Is there
come
a
back.
due date?
Hmm?
Is there a due date?
It's going from now till December 3rd. And December 3rd is our Giving Tuesday. It's Giving Tuesday, and
Giving,
I
okay.
extended it till then, only because there are end of year giving opportunities with employees also who have monies that they can make available through your non-taxable dollars, right? Some people have access to that. And I had one of our Sangha members say, don't close it because I have this giving in December. Yeah.
You can get it
Yes. She,
match to match.
yes,
Wow.
she's wants to do the giving in December when she's gonna get matched. Her employer will match her.
Can't be
And if
better-
you need our-
be double, and then we'll match it.
Yeah,
can't be better than those.
it doesn't get better than double. That's, I
No.
think that's called, that's called parlay, you know, right?
You need our number or like.
It is on the website and we send receipts. There will
Oh,
be
yeah.
receipts.
Oh, yeah, it comes in. At
Yeah.
least what I.
Oh, I don't
Do
know.
we ever go out and try to collect, like, I know when I was with Child Health, we would do these, Rubio's nights, where you like
Oh, yeah.
stand in front of Rubio's and you kind of pass out flyers and whatever's purchased that night, they give us back. And
We have looked at that.
something like that.
We have looked at that. It has been a lot of energy without a very big return,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So if I could find something that I thought really was an investment, that's, you know, I'm sure the board would be all over it. And we are going to be doing some things with an organization, for example, like Philabelly, which is a real opportunity for us to actually get directly involved, not just be handing money somewhere and then it goes, and it's good. I like that we're doing it too. But I also like the idea of showing up somewhere and helping people out real time. And we're going to start that in October. I think we have an October date, 25th, maybe 24th or 5th on a Thursday. And you'll know
24th,
about
yeah.
that also.
Yeah.
Our board's got committed to going, and we
We're
will,
gonna check that out.
we'll put that out there for everybody to go.
And we have-
Because I do think that's important also.
And we have St. Andrews coming up as well.
So you might want to talk about that then.
I don't remember the exact date.
The 10th of September, it's a second
Is the 10th,
Tuesday.
yeah, okay.
I
so-
will not be here, Greg, so I've got you identified as if people
Okay.
are dropping stuff off.
Okay, that's fine,
Because Carrie and I will both not be here,
okay.
right, Carrie?
What day is it?
September 10th, it's the second Tuesday is St. Andrews, and I won't be here, Carrie won't be here, so if there's any drop-offs, Greg's address, which is over on Wood, is identified.
And will we still
So-
have the online donations?
Still, it's up there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you and I will talk.
yeah,
about that.
I've got
We'll
it up
talk
there.
in more detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
so we're,
so those
you
are
know.
Big
it's-
things.
It's, what is it? Think globally, act locally, but we're also acting globally.
Swear.
Because people are doing it for us. I mean, the yellow hats and always think of them up in Long, where are they up in Long Beach?
The garden showing,
Are they in county or-
they're the rich, you mean where they,
The local, the local.
oh, the local group.
Yeah.
I think they're from Orange County.
Orange County. 'Cause
Yeah.
I always think that they're meditating for me.
Yes,
It's incredible.
well, they are.
What did
So
they
are
do?
we.
I-
You don't even have to wear a yellow hat for that.
Yeah,
I
It's
am
nice.
Look at that.
really curious and baffled. Why
You don't
we
have to have a
yell
hat
at
for
I'll be able-
offering, yeah, they're so fun. They're coming, actually.
Oh, they.
Yeah, they're doing their fall. We'll,
Okay.
we'll help them again.
You wanna do the switcheroony
Maybe
here?
we do it
Yeah.
for Ruth
Okay.
Wine night.
Yeah, half of our Sangha, yeah, does wine at Caruth. We could do a little thing. That'd be pretty fun. Yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, so we all know that we're, whatever else you do today, know that you're making an essential contribution. I think this is important. I rest better myself when I know that I'm doing these kinds of things that I can do to participate, not only to what's just right here in Encinitas, but now in these essential ways. Right, they're essential for us. So I think that's all. Any other announcement-ish?
I'll offer one thing. I work at a senior living community, and I'm often asked by families if we want their wheelchair or walkers. And we can't store them there, so I always have to tell the family no. So if you ever have a need, let Diana know. And I will make sure when that opportunity comes up that I contact you. They have to go really quick because we just have no storage at the community, but they're nice wheelchairs, nice walkers.
The Cadillac versions.
the-
Yeah,
The nice ones.
they're the Cadillac
Um,
version.
So
Yeah.
please let Diana know and I'll always grab one for you or a wheelchair for you and if you know somebody. Otherwise, they go to Elder Help, which is also a great.
Yay, yay for
Yeah.
elder help, which
Yeah.
Leanne knows a lot about too. Kelly, were you
I was
signaling?
Just gonna say San Diego United Methodist Church has a loan program for equipment like that.
Oh, awesome.
So I'm sure they would love to have.
Okay, if we don't have anywhere else for them to go,
San Diego
United Methodist,
United
Church,
Methodist.
which is
where
over
we're
in
going to be going.
Philadelphia.
We're going to be
Okay.
going there
Thank you,
for the
thank you.
Philadelphia.
You give them the navigator. It wouldn't be constant.
Yeah,
At least
and I don't get them
Done.
constantly,
Yeah, no, I
so
get it, but-
Yeah,
Right.
great.
oh, awesome, thank you.
Really
all.
wonderful. Anything else while we're in this mode of generosity? Anything before we do our final? See what-
Not really, but I'm doing a community, Sunday supper at the ranch now, and just to come. There's no, like, if you wanna come and just be part of the community.
Thank you.
Potluck.
Potluck on Sundays at the Serenity Ranch, Felicia's beautiful place. I'm really confident we're going to get there next year. We'll do one of our mindful all days up there. That it would be a real opportunity for us as well. And I think both Jessica and Dia left. Is that right? So the Young Goddesses, they are lovingly known as mindfulness teachers who are I am mentoring in the whole, and the community is supporting in the hope that to support them continue their work. Dia and Jessica would like to make an offering of a Sunday morning meditation on Sunday mornings because they happen to be moms. And the only time they have free as moms is really Sunday morning when the kids aren't up yet and nobody's running around. And so they said, could we make that offering? And I was very excited to be able to support them. And so just know that that's coming. They want to make that offering. Jessica and Dia will be the first two to do that. I don't know what time yet. I think that has to be decided. Is there anybody who would have a preference on a Sunday? You were going to drop in on a Sunday short 30, 45 minute.
Yeah.
So are we thinking 7:30 again? Because that's probably going to work for them as moms before the pancakes get made. 7:30-ish sounds okay. I will let them. I am not going to be here. So the next, let's see, next week is the something like the 7th won't be here, so we'll be Zoom only. The 14th won't be here. I'll be in Kauai, Zoom only. I will be returning on the 17th, not here. The 17th is still covered by Sangha, but no, we're always on Zoom. Still going to be on Zoom, so there's no. It's not like you can't practice. They are. It is not like you cannot continue to practice. It will just be Zoom only. And the next date we will be back here will be the 21st of September. It's a couple weeks out. It's usually beautiful here in September. Still a beautiful and still morning, but we will be on Zoom. And I will be here this Tuesday. Greg will be here this Thursday. And then starting Saturday will be. Okay. It's already after 9 o'clock. I feel like we've chewed up our time. Can we just take a minute? And resting back once again into now what is simply the vast open heart. And feel its warmth. Feel its spaciousness. Feel the tingle in the whole of the body from this goodness, your goodness. Rest in it, abide in it. Breathe it in for yourself, and then breathe it out. Follow that out breath into vast open space, the same size, the same width, the same depth, the same enormity as your own awakened heart mind. Thank you all for your presence, for your practice, for your commitment. And may it continue and never diminish, but grow and flourish evermore and more. Bows to you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Be well, everyone. You're so welcome.
Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely weekend.
Did I for, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, with the link even. Yeah, I even did a link. I think it was the Zoom link.
Okay.